Hello everyone, Seraphin here, welcome back for more Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. When I last left you guys, we were in the middle of Moment of Fate? Yeah, Chapter 27. Anyway, moving on today, we're going to try to get this finished up, if possible. As I mentioned, this is a large map. There's not that many dudes on it, but just the sheer size of it makes it difficult to deal with, so... And Boyd is 1 point of damage off from killing the door in a single hit, because of course he is. I actually want to avoid opening the door until I get my whole crew together at the door anyway, so it's not really that big of a deal. So we'll crack that open next turn. We don't really have anybody to contend with over here. That general, by the way, does not move from his spot. So what I'll probably end up doing is sending somebody like Jill over that way to kind of clean up that spot. It's not a route chapter. We don't really have to do that, but... we're just gonna have Astrid with the hand axe here. Hit that door for a chunk. Now I could just knock the thing down right now with Soren and call it a day. Or with Soth even. Soth could do it easily. But we're gonna wait a second on that. I should just have him open the door now that I'm thinking about it. I don't need to actually crack it open. But that's okay. Anyway, we're gonna get everybody lined up here and ready. I'm gonna send Jill to go take care of the general, because he's a pain in the neck and I don't want to deal with him. And then we'll get Nephany ready to go as well. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna storm the beaches of Normandy from two sides next turn. That'll be a lot of fun. Hopefully we don't lose as many people as they did in Normandy, but... That's level 10 racing, sweet. More magic, speed, skill, res, nice. Skill, he is completely unimportant for racing, but, you know, I don't know why he has a growth rate in that stat at all. Let alone strength. Doesn't really make a great deal of sense to me, but... Wait a minute. Oh, do I have a door key? I do! Okay, we can just open it. We don't need to smash it, we can just open the thing. And then I'm gonna have Ike take down Mr. Sage there next turn, probably. That tiger's gonna go for me first, though. Obviously. I don't really have the right weapon equipped for that, so we'll see how this goes. Should have had a steel blade or something. Now, if I crit or ether, it won't matter. Like that. Yeah, there's crit and ether. Perfect. Nicely done, Ike. That's how you take down a tiger in a single round. You crit them, then you ether them. Alright, that's what, level 15 Ike now, I think? Yep. There we go. Strength, luck, and that is capped res on Ike, I believe. Nicely done, sir. Oh, the general does move. Okay, I didn't think he did. Huh, learn something new every day, apparently. That being said, unless Jill crits, I don't think she's killing this guy in a single round. Nope. Oh, 1 hit point shy. Jill, if you'd gotten strength that last time, you'd have been fine. Unbelievable. Anyway, so let's move Ike inside the door here and deal with Mr. Sage. Silver Blade will do that. Steel Blade work? No, not quite. Silver Blade, on the other hand, does. Then we got to deal with a couple of snipers in here that I sadly don't have the ability to counter from distance, but that's okay. They're really not going to do any damage to Ike. I don't even think they're capable of doing damage to Ike, which is totally fine. Yeah, look at that. Capped res. We have 4 capped stats on Ike already, and he's on his way to capping a 5th one. 3 points away from capping strength. I think he'll get there. I honestly think he will. Well, we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, that's absolutely ridiculous. As I mentioned at the start of this game, Ike's stats are just unbelievably good. It's actually a little bit ridiculous. So we're going to go ahead and break the door down with Ilyana, of all people. We shoot a lightning bolt at the door, and open it goes. Now we can see everything. So yeah, there's a bit more guys back here with General Hafed. There's not really much in the way over here, though, is there? There's a Meteor Sage, which is not fun, and a couple of cats, and that's really it. Over here, however, we've got a Bolting Sage. On hard mode, these guys would have status staves, which are not fun, like Sleep and Silence and Berserk and all that jazz, and those are really not very fun. Let's see. We need to barrel through... Oh, no, we don't. Oscar can run right back and take out one of the Sages. I was going to say we need to barrel through one of the generals to get behind and kill the Sages first, but we don't actually have to do that. Because Oscar can just run right back here by himself because he's that fast. Or that mobile, I should say. There we go, Soul Proc. Heal yourself before you get hit for a bunch of lightning damage. Which he probably will. Thoron's a really cool looking spell, I gotta tell you. Another Soul Proc to fully heal yourself nearly, and there you go. Nicely done, Oscar. I gotta say, I love the magic animations in this game and Radiant Dawn in particular. Some of the magic animations are absolutely incredible. In fact, my favorite magic animations come from dark magic in Radiant Dawn. Yes, there is dark magic in Radiant Dawn. There isn't any in this game. I don't really know why. But dark magic makes a return in Radiant Dawn. And holy crap, is it ever amazing looking. I think the best looking spell is called Verine or something like that. They have really weird names. I actually haven't taken the time to look up the origins of some of the names of the dark magic spells, but they are really cool. They look amazing and they sound really cool. The dark magic just has this really ethereal quality and this creepy, oozy kind of sound to it. And it's very cool. And I can't wait to show that to you guys. Because it's going to be awesome, I'm telling you right now. I'll go ahead and heal up Boyd in case he gets nailed with that bolting tome, because Lord knows he probably will. I'm just that lucky. We're going to leave Mist right where she is. Soph can just go ahead and crack open the door real quick. And we're going to send... I guess we'll send... No, we'll send Astrid back there to take out... Oh, you know what? There are still status saves. It's these bishops that have them. Yeah, there's a silent staff on this guy. Oh, just the one. Okay, that's it? There's only a silent staff? Wow. Big difference between this hard mode in this game and regular mode, too. I actually just finished hard mode for the first time in this game sometime earlier this year. And let me tell you, that was a slog. One of the main aspects... That's a crit. One of the main aspects that Fire Emblem does to increase the difficulty on higher levels isn't necessarily to just, you know, add more guys and make them a little tougher, give them better weapons. That is one thing that they do. They don't do it quite to the same extent as you might think, but the big way that they make things more difficult on higher difficulties is... Can't quite kill that cat even with Tornado. The big way they do it is by adding really annoying things, and the most annoying thing that they can add, in my opinion, is status staves on healers and on sages and whatnot, because status staves just, they suck, they're the worst. Whoever's idea it was to come up with status staves must have been some kind of sociopath. But suffice to say, sleep staves are pretty bad, berserk staves are even worse. Silence really isn't all that threatening because only magic users are vulnerable to it, and magic users generally have enough resistance to avoid getting silenced in the first place. But let me tell you, when you have a bunch of enemy units and they've all got status staves, it's a big, solid pain in the neck. And I would not wish it on anybody. Alright, I really need Soren to either crit or proc an adept or something here. That would be ideal if he could do that. Because otherwise we're going to have an issue. Proc an adept, please. So both of those cats might go for him, and that could be bad news. Well, it looks like it's going to happen anyway. Now, I could use Rayson to allow someone to move again, but then he's going to get picked off by somebody, and I can't have that. We do not want Rayson getting attacked at all. Especially not by someone with 28 attack, when he's got, like, 2 defense. Yeah, that would kill him. Straight up, that would kill him in one hit. So, yeah, we're not doing that. I guess Soren can take a hit from both of them, right? No, he can't. Well, 28 and 17 times 2 is 34. He could take 2 hits. He could take 2 hits. It's not a good plan, but it's... I mean, he'll be fine, I guess. We're just going to have Jill poke at... Actually, you know what? I can just use Jill. Duh. Because she's going to be able to hit the general here and then move away, and then I'll just have Rayson refresh her. And send her in and take out one of the cats. I'm much more okay with Soren taking a hit from one cat than both. Because, as we all know, cats have a tendency to crit sometimes, and we don't need any of that garbage. Silver Lance, sweet. Can't really use it, so goodbye. I'm just going to put Jill right up in here. And we'll give her a quick bird song. And she can go take care of one of those cats. That bishop's going to try to silence Soren, probably, if I had to guess. That's what I would do. But the AI doesn't always do the smart thing. In fact, they rarely do the smart thing, because the AI is not really all that intelligent in this game, so I guess we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, last episode I was talking a little bit about my experience with FE4, which is Genealogy of the Holy War. It was only released in Japan, but I happen to have an English translation of it. Hey, strength on Jill, sweet, and skill, nicely done, nicely done, man. Okay, there is hope. There is hope, ladies and gentlemen. That is S rank and axes on Jill, by the way. If there was a legendary axe in this game, she could now use it. Sadly, there is not, so it's a moot point, but she has maxed out her axe potential, which is utterly ridiculous, considering she didn't even get to use axes until after she promoted. But, you know, it is what it is. Anyway, so playing through Genealogy of Holy War, I found a fan translation of it called Project Naga. I believe they released it a few years ago. But it basically allows you to play FE4 in English, which is nice. And it's on a Super Nintendo. Is what it originally came out on, but it is a very different experience than any other in the series, really. I don't think there's any other ones quite like it. The big thing is, in my opinion, the really big thing is that you don't have a communal pool of money for your troops. You have an army, and you control all of them still, obviously. But every unit in your army has their own supply of gold, their own supply of money. And they can't give it to one another. They can't trade items either. So that's the big thing. Like, say you've got a weapon on one guy and you want to give it to somebody else, you can't just walk up and trade it. What you have to do is go to a town, like a castle town, sell the item to the shop, and then the other guy that wants it can go to the store and buy it. Now, that being said, it suffers from the same penalties of selling as every other game, in that when you sell something, you only get half the money back for it. And then when someone goes to buy the thing, they gotta pay full price. Now, granted, if you sell an item that has some uses missing, it does reduce the cost by a proportional amount. So if you have something with only half the normal number of uses, it only costs half as much. So that's the one nice thing about it. And then the other nice thing about that game is that every weapon, including like legendary ones, can be repaired from completely broken. So if you manage to completely break your epic sword, you can just go to the blacksmith and he'll fix it right up for you. Back to full uses. It costs money. It's the cost of fixing it generally is proportional to the cost of the item itself. And I think if it is completely broken, you're buying another one. But you don't have to buy another one. You just keep the same one in your inventory, and you don't have to buy a second one. And then if you can actually sell and trade around broken items too, which is hilarious. But there's a lot to go into if you want to actually manage your quote unquote economy and your equipment properly in that game. It's a lot of work because you have to make sure you've got the right equipment on the right people. You know, sell it and buy it and trade it around and fix it and everything. The one cool thing about that game, I'll note too, is that every weapon has the same number. Every weapon in the game has 50 uses. Every weapon. Certain staves will have fewer uses than that, but like right from a basic iron sword to the most legendary epic lances, they all have 50 uses, which is really cool. And then the way they do weight in that game is a little weird. There actually are no mitigating qualities for weapon weight in that game. So if weapon weighs, say, 12 weight, it's going to slow you down by 12, no matter what you do. Even if you have a lot of strength, even if you have a good con score, anything. You can't mitigate weapon weight at all. The difference is, because everybody's vulnerable to it, if anybody's wielding a particularly heavy weapon, and even if they're really fast, it won't matter, it's going to slow them down quite a bit. And the other fun thing, too, is every quality of weapon, the only stat that changes is the might. The weight and hit don't go down or anything. So, like, an iron sword is just as capable of hitting someone and weighs just as much as a steel sword or a silver sword. It's just that the higher quality increases in power. That's it. There's no reason not to use the higher quality ones, as far as if you want to maximize your power potential. So, it's very different. It's very difficult to get used to when I've been playing. You know, I'm used to the Game Boy Advance series because that's what I grew up on. I'm much more used to this one in particular, because I've played this one a ton, and no other game in the series does mechanics like that. Number 4 is the only one that does. And it's been a little bit jarring to get used to. Also, there is an arena in that game, very similar to what we saw in the Game Boy Advance titles, where you could, send a unit into the arena, wager money, and if they won, you'd get paid cash, and also they'd get experience. But if they died, then they're dead, and that's obviously not a good thing. The arena in FE4, here's the weird thing: every unit has to go through the same gauntlet of guys in the arena. It's like a progressive line of champions. You fight the lowest ranked guy, then the next highest, then the next highest, so on. And there's only 7 guys in a given chapter you can fight. Once you beat all 7, then you've completed the arena. You can't do it anymore on that character. And everybody fights the same people. And the other weird thing about the arena is, if you die in the arena, your guys don't die. They stay at 1 hit point. So, but that being said, if you go back in, then you're still at 1 hit point. But if you win in the arena and you were hurt, they fully heal you for free. Which is ridiculous. So if you're a really good unit capable of taking people out one-on-one really easily, like a good sword master or something, they can clear the arena and basically don't get hurt in the whole process, get 7 guys worth of experience, and then they get a boatload of cash to boot. It's ridiculous. So yeah, it's pretty easy to abuse, I gotta be honest. And I'm going to admit that I'm guilty of doing that a little bit, because there are some units in that game that really aren't any good unless you take the time to train them. And some of them are just borderline impossible to train. And, there's a vast disparity in unit power in FE4. Some units are just absolutely god tier. Like Sigurd, the main character, he's unstoppable. He's a freaking wrecking ball. He basically can't be killed. It's ridiculous. But then you have guys like Azel, who's like a fire mage. And you would think, oh cool, fire mage, that sounds really powerful and strong. Except fire weighs a solid ton in that game. And he normally has incredibly good speed, but because the fire magic weighs him down so much, he really can't double anybody, and it's annoying. Oh, that's the big thing. FE4, you don't innately double people if you're faster than them. Even if you're faster than them by a pretty decent margin, you actually need to have a skill on your unit called Pursuit. If you don't have Pursuit, you can't double, period. You just can't do it. Nobody can, unless they have Pursuit. And the nice thing is, most enemy units don't have Pursuit, so you generally don't need to worry about getting doubled by enemy units. But even if your guy is the most blazingly fast member of your whole entire team, unless he has Pursuit, he's not doubling. Now granted, most of your guys you get in that game, most of the really fast ones at any rate, do have Pursuit. For example, Sigurd has Pursuit. A lot of your other guys have it, so it's not that big of a deal, but if anybody in your team doesn't have it, they're just not going to double. There are a couple of exceptions to that. There's a couple different skills that could potentially allow you to double. For example, Adept is still a skill, so you could proc Adept and get a double that way, but it's not the same as innately being faster than somebody and hitting them twice. So yeah, if you were curious about it, there's a lot of people you could go and watch videos of and watch playthroughs of. I highly recommend watching, they just finished it this year, Mangs, who is a very prominent Fire Emblem YouTuber. He does a lot of Let's Plays. I believe he's played almost every game in the series on his channel, but he does a Let's Play of FE4 with a gentleman named Mecha, who is another big pillar of the Fire Emblem community. Very intelligent, very well educated, very experienced guy in the series, and I respect the hell out of him. But the two of them together are, they're very entertaining, first of all, which is nice, but they're very knowledgeable about all the games, and they explain things very adequately, so probably better than I could. Certainly Mecha can explain things better than I can. So shout out to Mangs and Mecha, you guys are amazing, I love both of you. Check out their playthrough of Genealogy of the Holy War. They just finished it. There's actually 2 different parts to that game. There's a first generation and a second one. They just finished the second one. And they actually will go through and rate all the characters and break down their stats, break down their skills, break down what they can do, and give them a rating based on how competent they are throughout the course of the game. So if you're curious and want to learn more about that game, I highly recommend you go check them out. It's very fantastic. I'm sure they don't necessarily need the exposure, but I love those guys too much to not give it to them. So anyway, You'll actually, I believe Mangs' channel is linked on my channel as one of my featured sites on the right-hand side. So check him out there, and I'm sure he's got a link to Mechas on there, because the two of them collaborate quite a bit. At any rate, let's see. We're just about wrapped up with this chapter, as you can see here. I think what we're going to do is just finish it up. There's not much more for us to do. We got a lot of treasure to get yet. That might take us a little bit to chew through, but honestly, as far as units are concerned, there's not many left. And I don't think there's really anything in the way of reinforcements in this chapter. If memory serves, there just aren't any. So, there's that. Alright, so nobody... I don't think anybody over here has any chest keys either, do they? That's an enemy guy. Okay, so Boyd is a chest key. We can cut down the time on harvesting chests a little bit. Let's go ahead and get started, though. Have Soth crack open this one. We got a spear. Isn't that the coolest? Did anybody else get a chest key while they were over here? Astrid did. I'm gonna have Astrid go down here and open those two. We'll save some time doing that. And then Soren can take out the tiger, I think. That should be good enough for him. I'll probably just send Jill or somebody to take out that sniper in the center. Hafed does not move, by the way. Obviously. He is a Fire Emblem boss on a quote-unquote throne square, and they just don't move. That's a pretty well-established staple in the series, I think. I mean, it makes sense. They're better protected, they're a lot harder to hit, they heal every turn. Wow, another really awesome level for Soren. You know, he might end up capping a lot of stuff, too. Sadly, I don't know if transferring... I mean, you don't have to like pick and choose which units get transfer bonuses. They all get it if they make it to level 20 and cap anything. That being said, because of the limited amount of experience that you can get in this game, it's not really possible to get everybody that you want to max level. You kind of have to pick and choose like maybe like 5 or 6. It's really not, even with all the bonus experience you get, I don't think it's possible to get many more than that to the max level and have them transfer stuff. So my goal as far as transferring characters, Jill makes a very, very good use of transfer bonuses. Nephany makes very good use of transfer bonuses. Ilyana makes very good use of transfer bonuses. And I hate to say this, but it really is true now that I'm thinking about it. It seems like a lot of the units that benefit the most from gaining extra stats from a transfer bonus are all women. I don't know what it is, but generally speaking, when you get all the units back in Radiant Dawn, it's the women that generally need the most help getting extra stats and whatnot. I don't know why that is. Honestly, in my opinion, I think the women characters in this game and the next one are some of the best ones. As we saw here, Jill is an absolute freaking wrecking ball. Nephany is also very powerful. Ilyana is incredibly strong. So yeah, I don't know what it is, but it just seems to be a common staple of the series at any rate. Also, there is some minor gender discrepancies as far as unit stats go in this game. I don't know if I've ever actually explained that, but it's the case in almost every one of them. In the Game Boy Advance ones and in this one, and so on and so forth, female units tend to be tend to have slightly less strength as far as a cap is concerned in their respective classes, but they tend also to be faster. And they tend to have less physical defense and more magic resistance. And by the way, that discrepancy is maybe a point or two. It's not very much. So you're not going to have, you know, but if you compare Jill and Har, for example, they're both Wyvern Riders. Har is going to have maybe a point or two extra strength and defense over Jill, whereas Jill will have a point or two extra speed and resistance. That's pretty much the extent of it. Alright, so I said we're going to have Astrid go crack open those chests on the bottom. That shouldn't be that big of a deal. I'm going to leave Rayson right here in the center room. We'll have Astrid go crack open some treasure. Next turn, obviously. So it's going to be another little bit before he can get over there. I could shove him. It might save me a little bit of time. At least a turn or two. Yeah, let's do that. Let's just get him shoved over here. Oh, I can smite with Boyd. I forgot about that. Like a double shove. Alright, does anybody need any healing? I guess Oscar could do with a little bit? Oh, Astrid needs some. But no one's going to attack her, so we're not going to worry about it. Let's just get the whole crew moved up in here. Just these two are left. Hafed's not really all that threatening. He's got a Brave Lance and a Spear. He does have the final Occult Scroll in the game, too. Sadly, you can't take his Night Ward from him. That'd be kind of nice to have a second one of those, but no, he doesn't drop it. And you can't steal it because it's equipped. So there's that. I think we just let Ike go to town on Hafed. He'll get another level out of it. In fact, we'll just put Ike... No, I don't want him right in the way. I want to wait till he can counter. So we'll crack open a chest with Astrid. That is a Physics Staff. Nice. Can't have too many of those. I don't think Raisin... Oh, look at that. He's in range. Perfect. That being said, I don't think Astrid can make the other chest in the same turn here. I guess we'll wait and see. Look at that, just enough. Perfect. We'll loot these. Silver Lance, okay. Maybe I can buy those now, but whatever. And Soth can just start cracking more treasure. Olganon, that's a Fire Tome, which I believe roughly translates to Volcano. If I'm not mistaken, it looks really cool. Again, magic animations in this game, mwah, so good. Alright, let's crack another chest open. And we will have... Oh, a Resolve Scroll. Nice. We will have Ike start working on Hafed here. I think Silverblade might be in order. He's not going to crit me. I can't crit him either. That's interesting. I can still Ether him, though. So we'll just leave Ike right here. And he'll get support bonuses from Soren, because they're near each other. And we'll put the Oscar... We'll put... Well, the Oscar... We'll have Oscar give him support bonuses as well. Always fun. Again, we'll just kind of stack up our guys here because this is what I do. Don't judge me. There actually is a reason why I do this, by the way. There is another tactics game that I used to play all the time growing up that I'm actually thinking I might do on this channel. But it's what got me into tactics games to begin with. It was called Shining Force 2 on the Sega Genesis. And in that game... enemy magic units can do area of effect spells in like a cross pattern, but if you stagger your guys like that, they can never hit more than one of you. So that's kind of the reason why I instinctively do that. Even though it doesn't exist in this game, it's just ingrained into my brain. So, anyway, now you understand. You and Sir Knight have some kind of connection. Oh no, you think? To reach him, you must first vanquish me. Well, I think you're dead, pal. Yep, that is a single round, and the general is down. Because Ike is an absolute freaking monster at this point, and it's a level for him. Level 16 Ike. More strength, perfect. More magic, of all things. 48 HP is pretty solid, and we get a final Occult Scroll. Alright, so I think what we're going to do is actually take some of Ike's stuff away. He doesn't need the chest key, he doesn't need his... he doesn't really need his steel... he doesn't need a silver blade anymore. There's a reason I'm doing this, by the way. It'll become pretty evident here in a moment, but... we're gonna go ahead and crack open this final treasure chest. It's a Laguz axe, nice. I guess. I believe that's all the treasure. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and seize the throne. And move on. This actually is not the end of the chapter, not yet, but we're getting there. The one I seek is behind these doors. Don't follow me. I'm going alone. You have to let Ike go alone. The Black Knight is his. Oh, Snapple. Defeating him is a crucial step that Ike must take in order to truly get over the death of his father. What if something happens to him? Then what? I think Ike has gained the composure to keep calm and judge whether or not he can match an opponent. If he in fact can't, it means he's reached his full potential, and that's all there is to him. Well, that's a little bit, like... what's the word I'm looking for here? Not really all that nice to say. I mean, it might actually be true, who knows, but... I believe him, and I have faith. He's not going to engage in a battle he can't win. Soren doesn't like it. Sometimes bravery and good judgment aren't enough. Commander Grail, watch over your son. So yeah, we kind of leave everybody behind, and we go right into it with Ike here. Somehow Ina made her way back here. You had the perfect opportunity to escape, the Black Knight says. No, you're not. The king has ordered me to put an end to you. I do not believe I could prevail against one of your power. Well, that's probably a wise remark. How extremely frank. Yeah, pretty much. My only wish is to be beside the one I love. If that's not to be, then it matters not what happens. Well, I shall make your end a swift and merciful one. Do you have any final words? If you see Nasir, tell him Ina was sorry. I will so tell him. Rest in peace. So, yeah. Black Knight just kind of wrecks Ina. I've been waiting for you, child. Look how much freaking bigger he is. Despite my promise, the blow was not clean. She breathes still. You'll have to do so by force. You brought the sacred sword, did you not? It appears you've grown smarter. Good. There's no challenge in killing a fool. Shall we begin? And of course, freaking Mist is here. Gawain's daughter, huh? Good. Now I can pull out the entire family tree by the root. Jeez, what a jerk. This craven wretch is mine. So yeah. This is it, everybody. This is the final duel between Ike and the Black Knight, and he is no weaker than the first time we saw him. And now we have Ragnell, which is just as strong as his sword. 18 might, 20 weight, not a problem. It does give him 5 extra defense when he equips it, though, which is nice. And we also have Mist here, and she's purely here to heal because she can't hurt Black Knight anyway. That being said, I almost hate to do this, but we're going to leave this very pivotal and epic final battle here. Not final battle, but you know. We're going to go ahead and finish this next episode, so stay tuned for the final climactic epic conclusion of Ike versus the Black Knight. Feel free to leave a like and a comment on this video if you are so inclined, and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And again, tune in next time, Ike versus Black Knight. It'll be awesome. Buy your tickets. Stay on the edge of your seats. Until that time, this has been Seraphin. Stay classy, internets.